YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I am doing my end of August wrap-up. Okay, slight confession, I'm feeling pretty tired right now. I got home from work a little while ago, I had to do some chores, and now I'm filming. And part of me was just like, ooh, you should just make a cold brew. Cold brew is wonderful and has so much caffeine. And then I was like, no, I shouldn't do that. It's 8 o'clock at night. If I have a cold brew, I will be awake until forever. So I'm just gonna stick with wine and get progressively sleepier throughout this whole video. Then we'll see how I am at the end of it. We're gonna go on a little sleepy time adventure. It's gonna be fun. Grab a glass of wine, let's go. In the second half of August, I read 5 additional books, and whoo boy, some of these were long books. Like, I read some long things. Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, I got 5 of them in, and yeah, let's just go. Let's just review. No more preamble. Like I said, I'm sleepy. Let's go. First category is romance, and I read 2 of them. I read Daring and the Duke by Sarah McLean, and I've already done a live show about this book, so I don't really want to get too much into it because I feel like I've already discussed it. But overall, it gets like 3 stars. It's not great. Like, it's definitely not the best of the series, and it might just be an acquired taste. I don't think it's like for everyone, but the one thing I did really like about it in general is that, I mean, if you're gonna be dramatic, be dramatic. There's no half measures in the drama of this book. In this one, we're following Grace and Ewan. They've been characters in all of the books of the series, and they've always been very mysterious, and we know they have this dark past. Basically, Ewan tried to kill them all, and so, you know, that's a problem in their relationship. And now, you know, they're adults and back in each other's lives and in sexy times. Like, honestly, like, this is the smuttiest one of the series. They're just, all the time, just, sorry, that wasn't a very good depiction of their sex, but yeah, it's just a lot of smut and not enough substance because really, it's not great. It's really not the best book of the series, but like, I did appreciate it just for drama. Like, these 2 are the most dramatic humans that have ever existed. Like, Ewan takes brooding to a whole other level. Like, slight spoiler here. Like, he is sad and upset and angry, and so he burns his house down. Like, that is a level of drama you aren't expecting. So I appreciate that it went there. It's just like, all right, if this is gonna be dramatic, we're going full drama. So for that value, it was at least 3 stars worth of a book because I just kind of live for the drama sometimes. I also read One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. I gave this like 3.75 stars, rounded up to 4, because you know what? It's 2020. We're all just trying to get by, okay? Like, I'm gonna round up. Books get extra stars. We're all struggling right now. But anyway, yeah, it's like a little bit under 4 stars. It was good. Like, I did appreciate this also for drama factor. Basic idea here is that there's this woman named Bee. She's a plus-size fashion blogger, and she loves this show, all of The Bachelor. I think it's called like Main Squeeze or something, but that's stupid. So, The Bachelor, let's call it that. And one day she gets kind of drunk and she's heartbroken, and she writes this long essay saying like how everyone on the show is a size 2 and body positivity, la la la, and it goes viral. And so one thing's come to another. The producers of the show are like, hey, B, you're gonna be the Bachelorette. And she's like, no. And they're like, hear me out. And she's like, all right. So we're following B on her journey as the Bachelorette and the first plus-size Bachelorette in the show's history. And while I was reading this, I was thinking about actually watching this show on TV, and hot damn would this be good television. Oh, the juice! It's so juicy. Oh my gosh, the drama is so high all the time. And then like the crazy like twists of this TV show, like I would just scream into a pillow. Like, it'd be so much. So that's what kept me going with this story, was thinking like, oh, this would be just like grade A television. I wouldn't be able to stop watching it. It'd be so juicy. But there's other issues going on here that kind of inhibit the book from shining as much as it could. First, it's written generally as a narrative, as a normal narrative structure. However, a lot of it's kind of like multimedia content. There's a lot of sections that are like blog posts and comments on blog posts, and like text messages between a group of people who have like a fan club watching crew who watch the show and like talk about it. They have nothing to do with the plot of the book, yet they get parts of chapters. So it's very like interactive and showing like how the whole world is viewing this thing. But like I don't see why the book does that, because aren't we supposed to be dealing with B? So I get what they were going for. It's just like I don't really think it helps the book. Like, you know, you see like a lot of the horrible comments that, you know, women, and especially plus size women, get on the internet on a regular basis in here. And it's, I don't know. Almost dropped my book, but I'm alright. Let's keep going. Like I was saying, the weird interactive bits of the story, they're cute, but they don't add anything concrete to the actual story. It just felt like, oh, I need to fill pages because I don't have narrative structure for it, so I'm just gonna put in like what other people are thinking about what's happening, which is like, why is that in the book? I'm not sure why. Like, I get it, but like it doesn't help the book. And also, okay, let's just talk about the romance in here. B, you know, she is on a dating show with like several eligible bachelors, and she gets down to like the top 3, top 4, and those are the ones we deal with the most. And okay, so the romances aren't great. Let's be real. Like, the person she ends up with, I don't see why we were trying to root for this person. He's very mercurial, and I'm like, this guy's probably a Cancer, honestly. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going into zodiac signs right now. I'm tired, but he's so mercurial that I was like, ew, why would you want to deal with him? And I don't know, I just didn't get all the sparks in the relationship that I wanted to get. It seemed kind of just like a fond hug. Like, you know, that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like sparks. It just felt like we're buddies. And I don't know if that's like a good basis for the relationship. Yes, they end up together in the end, but I was like, I think they're gonna get divorced. I'm sorry. I don't know. I just didn't see it. I think we were supposed to see it, but like it didn't pan out well. And let's talk about B for a minute. B is a plus size woman, and it makes sense that if you don't conform to standard beauty ideals, you would maybe have some issues with self-esteem, self-confidence. Those kind of issues make sense. I mean, and they're relatable to all women or people in general. Everyone has their own issues with their body. So that being said, there's so much emphasis put on her feeling so bad about herself because, you know, she's fat, rather than I love myself because I'm fat. It's more that, oh, no one will ever want me, I'm disgusting. And it's like, I really would have wished to see B like own it more. You know what I mean? I wanted to see a confident fat woman. I didn't want to see a sad one. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't really have a leg to stand on here, as I'm not a plus size woman, but I really wanted to see like a really positive portrayal of a plus size woman where, yes, she has insecurities and those things are there, but at the end of the day she's like, yeah, I'm awesome. And I really wanted her to like get a grip at certain points. So I don't know, I felt like it could have perhaps been a bit more body positive than it was. Like, it was trying to make a point, but the point seemed to be B is really sad because she's plus size, but in the end she still kind of loves herself. And I think I would have wanted her to be B loves herself even though sometimes she has insecurities. It's a subtle difference that I was looking for that I didn't get. So all of those like elements combined to make the book just not as good as it could have been. Like, there's a lot of really good ideas here. There's a lot of really good writing. Like I said, the drama, oh, it's juicy drama. Oh my gosh. So there are like a lot of good things going on here. I just don't know if it coalesced into a great book on its own. But it's not a bad book. I think it's worth the read. I think I would read something else by Kate Stayman London. I believe this is a debut, so I would read another book by her. I want to see like how the writing progresses in a different type of story. But yeah, this one, it was fun just for juicy drama. So if you want that, I recommend. Next section is, oh boy, that was a lot. And I've read 3 of them. I read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. We're following this woman named Maggie. She is returning to her childhood home that her family fled from 20 years ago in the dead of night because it was haunted. And then her father wrote a very sensational novel about it, a la like the Amityville Horror, international bestseller, incredible book. And so Maggie's going back to the house because she's like, it's not fucking real. That's not what happened. I'm going to uncover the truth, because her parents are very shifty about what happened. They don't really want to talk about it. So Maggie's like, I'm just going to go there and figure it out. So that's like the basic premise. And the way the book is structured is that it's a book within a book. There's 2 books going on here at the same time, if that makes sense. There is chapters where Maggie's talking, and then there's chapters from the book her father wrote, like inner whatever this means, like one after another with each other. I don't have words. Alternating, there you go, alternating back and forth between her father's book and her experiences in the now. And I'm just gonna be real, like, I wish I was reading the father's book. I don't like Maggie's story. It's just so cynical to the point where I'm just like, you are just a drag to be around. Like, no one should want to be around Maggie. She's just like an energy sucker. But her dad's book, ooh, if that was a real book, I would have read the shit out of it. It is an excellent ghost story. Ooh, goodies. Like, I just want a ghost story, damn it. So I was getting like half a ghost story and half of a cynical a-hole. So there's that. And it is a murder mystery because there is, you hear about this missing girl throughout the story, and of course, you know, throughout the course of Maggie's story, you find out what actually happened to the girl. And, okay, let's talk a bit about the structure here of the book. Thrillers, like any genre, there is a typical type of story arc that books follow. And it's not a bad thing. That's just what books follow to make a good story. And it really depends on the ingredients you put in it. Like, it's all spaghetti, but some people put extra stuff in their sauce and it tastes better. That's kind of the idea with most narratives, is that it all has the same arc, but which flavors work best for you? And this one follows the structure for a while, and then at the end it's just like whoo, and like doesn't care. So the killer in this just kind of happens out of nowhere. I feel like so little was done to establish this character as having any motive whatsoever. It was just shoddy. Like, I don't know, like there wasn't anything leading to this character, which people might think, ooh, that makes it really surprising. But like, it doesn't make sense because nothing has been established for this ending to just happen out of nowhere. You're just like, okay, yeah, you surprised me, but like, why? Like, there's like this big twist of who the killer is and why it happened and how it happened, and it's like dumb. I don't know. Like, yes, it is surprising. I will give it that. But it's surprising because they didn't put any effort into like putting clues in. It's just kind of like, oh, this girl's dead. I wonder what happened to her. No one's really looking for the killer in here. So it's just like, all of a sudden, there's a killer. So, I don't know. I don't read a ton of thrillers, so maybe I'm just coming out this book from an outsider's perspective here. But for me, I was just really baffled a bit by the choice in the end, because it was just all of a sudden, there you go! And it was just really abrupt, and it was out of nowhere. And, I mean, I appreciate the surprise, but, like, I don't appreciate why the surprise happened, if that makes sense. So, like, it's good. I think people who enjoy thrillers and murder mysteries would definitely really enjoy this. For me, I just was thrown off by, like, the surprise killer. I was like, what? It doesn't make a lot of sense. But, I I don't know. I just feel like this isn't Riley Sager's best work. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, if you've read all of the books, including this one. I just feel like the other books are probably better, but I haven't read them, so I don't know. But is it good? Yes. I was wishing for more ghosts. So yes, there's Maggie's story and the dad's story. I wish the whole book was the dad's story. Like, I read the shit out of that and been like, it's 5 stars, I love it. But as it stands right now, I gave it like 4 stars because I mean, it's not poorly written. It's just like weird for the killer reveal. I don't know. I can't like put into words how I feel about it. I just felt like it was just surprising just for the sake of being shocking rather than surprising for like a carefully crafted reason. There you go. That's what I meant. I got there eventually in this review. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I think it's pretty good, but could have been better. I also finally read A Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie. And with any Joe Abercrombie book, like it takes a lot out of you to read it because it's grimdark, and none of these characters tend to be good people. They're all just like kind of shitty people doing the best they can. So there you go. And we're kind of following back into our main characters from the original trilogy, coming back to them like 30 years later. So a lot of things have happened, and that's what those, little standalone books are for. This is picking back up the original storyline. And like in the original trilogy, I'm not exactly sure what the plot is. Like, it's good, but I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I gave it 4.5 stars. I had to take off half a star because the plot is not there yet. And I mean, I could say the simple plot, which is that this world that was very fantasy driven, very much swords and, war and warriors, that civilization is gradually becoming industrialized. So there has been less and less reliance on, craftsmanship and, I don't know, basically manufacturing has come in big machines, so everyone's out of work, and profits are going up because you can make more stuff more quickly, but there's fewer jobs for people to do it because the machines are doing it. So it's this whole upheaval. It's basically the Industrial Revolution, but told in a grim, dark way. And then you have like the workers who are plotting bloody, violent revenge against their corporate overlords. So you have that whole thing about rebellion against, the owners of the companies and all the workers, bloody violent revolt. So there's that, but like, I don't actually think that's what the trilogy is going to be about. That's just part of it. So there's definitely a bigger storyline going on here that we haven't really scratched yet. And I really can't go into a lot of plot details because there's so many different plots going on here with different characters in different parts of the world. And it's just seeing a new crop of faces, basically. A lot of our original characters have grown up because, it's 30 years later. They've had their own kids. Their kids are now adults. And just like overall a bit whinier than the original batch. Like these kids, oh man, some of them are just whiny little brats. So, I don't know, it's grimdark Industrial Revolution. It's really good. I love Abercrombie, I love this world, I've read all of the books now. The new book does come out in September, so just a couple weeks from now, the newest book of the series comes out. So I'm caught up finally. But yeah, it's very good. It's hard to describe the world because there's so many different things going on, but all of our fan favorite characters are kind of back, and what they've been doing for 30 years. How's their life changed? Is kind of picking up that story thread again. And I mean, I loved it. It was good. 4.5 stars. I took off half a star because I'm like, I don't think this is what the story is actually about. It's not just going to be about like Industrial Revolution. It's going to be about something crazy, and I'm waiting for the crazy to hit. Waiting for the crazy shoe to drop. It's coming, I tell you. Yeah, that's it. That's all. I like this book a lot. It's very good. Obviously very well crafted. I recommend. I also finally read Dark Age by Pierce Brown. And you guys, like, this book is thick. Like, I was like, okay, it's not so many pages. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of pages. Like, how many pages are you? 757. So like that's a heavy book. That's a lot of pages. But I've read other books that long. But the thing is, like, look how many words are on each page. Like each page is like at least a page and a half of a normal sized book. It took me some time to read. It's a lot, and just like honestly, I finished this book and then I sat and just stared at the wall for 25 minutes because I was so emotionally drained from it. That pretty much sums up my reading experience. I gave it 5 stars because I was just like so emotionally drained that I'm like, all right, you did it to me. So in this book, we're basically picking up right where we left off in Iron Gold with Darrow on Mercury. Now, again, this is book 5 of this series, so I really cannot get into all of the interstellar politics going on here because, frankly, it would be too long. So let's just like break it down that there's this civilization kind of based on colors. I don't know, like basically golds are like the overlords and they're the seers of like the universe. And then they have like silvers and pinks and reds and oranges, and all these different people are like made to fill a certain role of society. That's how their society functions. In comes Darrow. Darrow was a red, they're at the bottom of the heap. And he's just like, fuck y'all bitches, I'm taking this shit down. And then he gets turned into a gold, he infiltrates their society, and then he pulls it apart from the inside, and then they form a republic where everyone is equal. So there you go, that was the first trilogy. And this is like what it's like to actually rule a new republic when you gave the people freedom, but what the fuck are they supposed to do with it? They don't know. So it's kind of all a fucking mess. They have this great idea, but no idea really how to fully govern it. And so their beautiful republic that they built is just slowly crumbling in multiple places, that if you just pull the right thread, it's all gonna come apart. And that's what these Gold's loyalists are planning on. So the Golds who didn't want the New World Order to be established, they're kind of all joining forces to bring a big giant war. So this is just war coming, and it's the Dark Age, so the title suggests. And oh my gosh, like, it's just like, you think it's gonna be okay, and then it's just like, ha 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 ha, fuck you, and it spits in your face. So, I mean, I don't even know who's gonna be alive at the end of this. I'm sorry, they kill off a lot of characters in this book. Like, fan favorite characters, POV characters, they're just killing people. And not in like a heroic, beautiful death. It's just like, oh no, oh. Like, horrifically gory, violent, oh my gosh, deaths happen in this book. There's some really fucked up stuff that happens in this book. So yeah, like at the end, I just sat and stared at the wall for 25 minutes because it was just a lot. But I don't want to dissuade people from reading the series. Like, it's right here on my shelf. It's one of my favorites. Red Rising is the beginning of it. It's incredible, like genuinely. I think it's brilliant. It's beautifully written. It's lyrical. It's so deep. It hits you in all of the feels. But oh my gosh, who hurt you, Pierce Brown? Like, oh, like, this hurt my feelings intensely. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was brilliantly written. But oh my gosh, stop killing people I like, for fuck's sake. All right, so that wraps up August for me. It was a pretty good reading month. I didn't DNF a single book, so winning. Let me know in the comments down below, have you read any of these books, and if so, did you like them, did you dislike them? If you're a Riley Sager fan and you've read all the books, including Home Before Dark, is it the best work? Like, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!